Yeah.
Hey, so let me just ask you this Kaplan question right now.
Sounds good.
So look, this person posting on Reddit is exactly like you. That's why I sent it to you. They said, is the bar prep worth it for round 2? They failed July 2019 and they're gearing up for February 20. They only completed 86%, so they wouldn't be getting it for free. What'd you do, Brandon? You did 100.
I did like 90 something of it. Yeah, I have like a huge portion of it done, and so I got it for free the second time.
Okay.
But and I got it. They sent me the books again, all that stuff. And honestly, the only reason I even did it again was because I knew there was some new star updates. And they had a concise little sheet. But I mean, I may have opened those books in the 6 weeks that I really, really cranked down on studying once. So it wasn't worth it. It's not worth the money. There's better methods like focusing on the MBs. That's what needed help you get to where you need to be. Because you can sit there and do rote memorization, but it's not helpful because all you're doing is memorizing rules, but you're still not looking at a fact pattern going, hey, what rule applies? And that's the biggest thing, that when you look at an MBE question or even an essay, they're issue spotting in the sense that there's a fact pattern, there's some issues, but you have to know how to apply them. Because I can blurt out rules all day, but am I applying them properly? Does a fact pattern support them? When you do an MBE question, you literally have a mini, essay right there, and it's issue, rule, application, and conclusion. And sometimes you don't get the conclusion part. Sometimes it's about which rule is it, or can you apply this, or whatever the case may be. But essential that you practice. And that's the biggest thing. And yeah, the bar prep programs, they don't rote memorization. Watch 8 hours of lecture a day and then write an essay or do some fake MBE questions that you're not going to get any experience with. And they're not the worst things in the world, but I saw the difference going into the bar exam the first time and never having done a real MBE question. It was definitely a detriment.
Okay, so you didn't have real questions the first time, but you got it for the second time, the real ones, right?
Right. And that made the world of difference because they're not so far, they're differences, there's differences in the sense that the actual MBEs, the questions, they're very, very specific. They write a certain way that's very different from the way the commercial bar preps who don't use real MBEs write. And I was thrown off. I was super thrown off by that the first time I took it. I think I may have done a little better had I done real MBEs. I don't know that I would have passed because, again, if I had used a different bar prep program that was giving me real MBEs but was still just doing the same type of study method, I may not have passed the first time either way, but I may have done better on my MBEs. But this time, the first time around, just like I said, I was a little bit in culture shock when I took the bar because I had never seen a real MBE question, and there is a difference.
Okay, so he says he knows he needs to practice, but I think one of the main parts of his question is he's now, or she, is faced with a 50% discount. So do you think it would be worth it to pay half of that price? Do you see what I'm saying?
No, because that's money that could be spent on something else.
Like the real MBEs, right?
Right.
Or whatever.
A real MBE, yeah. No, that's actually perfect. The real MBEs. And doing those and getting feedback on those and understanding what you're missing there. Because here's another thing about using a commercial bar prep that doesn't use MBEs. You're not seeing what rule they're asking for in the way that they're asking it, because there's a pattern. And you're not going to see that pattern in a commercial program that doesn't use MBEs or, actual MBE questions, because there's a pattern to how they write. And, like we've seen in the past, sometimes you'll hit the same question on the second half of the MBEs that's just opposite of the question they asked in the morning session. So the morning and the afternoon will have the same question, just reversed. But if you don't know to look for that pattern, then you're missing out not on just one question, but two now.
Right.
And that's something you can only see after doing MBEs, actual MBEs, because the commercial bar prep programs don't write the MBEs that way.
Right.
And that's the thing though. We saw it, we discussed it, and it was interesting because you just, that's an easy 2 questions you can either miss if you don't know to look for or get right if you know, hey, there's a chance this will come up later on in the opposite direction.
Right.
So.
Thanks, Brandon.
Yeah, no, of course.
Maybe we could do this. Every few days I'll gather up a bunch of questions and could just motor through. You know what I'm saying?
That sounds good to me. No, definitely. That sounds good to me. And this is probably better for me too.